Hey guys, I'm Alejandro, your host for the West Coast Initiative podcast. Just wanted to say thank you guys for listening and supporting us. This podcast wouldn't be continuing if it wasn't for our very own family business, the Patty and Alex Party Rentals. We rent out tables, chairs, canopies, throne chairs, games, and we just partnered up with a really good friend of mine to rent out jumpers for kids. Follow us on Instagram and on Facebook, where you get the more details, get our quotes, DM us, Messenger, even call us in text. We are going to get to you as soon as possible. We want to make your memories great and we want to make your next event easy and simple. So don't forget to check us out. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the West Coast Initiative. I'm your host, Alex Castillo. We have a really special guest today, Lewis Lawson, who is the owner of Papis Teppanyaki Habachi Catering. And we got him right now in the mix. We're actually, it's kind of cool that we have him on right now because he's kind of always working on, he's always on the move. And right now we kind of catch him on the move at the moment before he has to do a little catering. How you doing, Lewis? How's everything? How's the catering business going?
Good. It's a blessed morning. We got a day three of a 350 guest catering today,
Oh, wow.
and yeah, what the biggest catering I've had since I started my business.
Oh,
So lots.
that's today. The one that you were telling me
Yeah.
the other day. Oh wow,
So,
shoot.
so this is the third day. So we started Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then right now we're gonna be prepping. Another team is gonna be prepping for the weekend because we got a paintball tournament coming up, the
Oh yes.
WCPPL.
Yeah.
And then we'll be serving thousands of people over there too.
Oh, sweet, dude. Well, it sounds like you're doing
Yes.
great, man. Just a little bit for the listeners out there. Can you kind of share us a little history of yourself, a little bit about your catering, how you got into it and whatnot. So let's start off with yourself. How what about you? How'd you get into the whole catering system?
So I got into the catering system just by my passion of cooking. I love cooking. I've always cooked as a kid, whether it was for fun or to survive. And um, later on, I ended up having some health issues, and I realized that there was a void in the market, and nobody was serving vegetables late at night and fresh food. And I knew one day something was going to come my way that I had to just leave my job as an electrician. And once I found hibachi, I realized that's what I wanted to do, and that's what I wanted to provide to my community. It was fresh plates and high quality food.
You
Um,
know,
how I
were you sorry to cut you off, but were you ever a cook or like a chef or anything like that? Because I know you just said you were an electrician, but
Yeah, so I probably worked in a sandwich shop for like 6 months. But no,
that's
no,
crazy,
I never took
man.
that food. Yeah,
That's a big
and
risk right there. Definitely,
oh, it's a huge risk, huge risk.
And why did some people who have regular jobs, stuff like that, it's kind of hard for them to
Mhm.
kind of drop that and make that pursuance to making their own business.
Cool.
A lot of people who have trade jobs, whether plumbing, electrician, kind of like yourself, you said, those are kind of I don't want to say it's like a comfort job, but it's a stable job for sure. That not
Oh
many
yeah.
people, not many people would jump out of that risk. Um, you know, but how did you kind of convince yourself to kind of like, all right, like this is what I'm gonna do? I know you said the health issues kind of helped you, but like, can you describe around that time, like, what really pushed you far ahead to that moment?
Yeah, so I realized that I was getting paid good money, and I didn't even know who my boss was. And if that guy could pay a team to go make him money, then ultimately I could do the same and manage a team or manage teams of teams. And so I was thinking bigger picture. I wanted to do something bigger in my life. So I knew to start a business, for one, you needed money. So I was making good money as an electrician, so I started putting money away, and I told myself, if you save 20 grand, you have to quit your job. So I saved 20 grand and I quit. But at that time, I was already cooking plates on the weekend.
Mm.
So I would put on a pay-per-view fight, because I love boxing, I love MMA. So I would put on a pay-per-view at my house and invite all my friends over. Luckily, I've got a lot of friends, so I'd invite as many people as I could over, and I would also offer food because you can't invite people over and not have food, right?
Yeah.
So I started cooking hibachi plates out of my house, just getting the recipe down, and before I knew it, I was making good money, just kind of having fun and cooking and bringing all my friends and family together. And I knew I was onto something. I knew
Mm.
it because I wasn't even just convincing like my friends. I was actually reaching people that I didn't know, selling the food out of my house.
Oh,
So I
interesting.
knew that there was potential for a business. I knew that there was potential.
It kind of started with, word of mouth, right? Like friends kind of invite, hey, dude,
Oh, yeah,
Lewis having the fight over tonight. Like, oh, my homie's coming over. My homie's having the fight over tonight. He's also selling some plates. That's how it kind of really started then?
exactly.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's a really
Yes.
cool idea, man. I never would have thought of that idea to come in fruition. I was actually I remember you were kind of telling me that the other day, and then I was like, "Oh, hold on, let's hold on to that. I want to talk about more about that in the podcast for sure." And
Yeah.
so how long did you start doing that? And then you were like, because I know you said you reached up to 20 grand, right? But time
Mhm.
wise, how long did it take you to like fully when you had the
Jump
idea,
ship.
yeah, to jump ship, to idea to right there, just quit.
Probably about a year.
Okay.
Probably about a year. I was cooking as much as I could because my job was having me work so much. I was probably working like 13 days in a row and then take one day off. Out of
Mm.
2 weeks, I'd have one day off. And that one day I would cook. And um, yeah, just it was about a year. And
Yeah, dedication, because to hold a dream just like that for a whole year and just continuously doing not a lot of, I mean, a year doesn't sound a lot, right? But if you think about it, break it
mhm,
down, it's 365 days. That's 365 days that you are committed to a dream, that not a lot of people would say their first month of just even starting the new year, I'm going to the gym. Within that first 30 days, a lot of them already quit, right? And
yeah,
you pursued it for a year, 365 days in that time zone, and you were ready to jump that ship to, pursue your business. Uh,
yeah.
so now that you've, into that, I know that now that you have a team, right? How
Mhm.
did you were able to expand? How was that first few catering events when you finally uh decided to quit your job and you started kind of putting the puzzle all together to today?
So in that year, I had already started getting my feet wet in caterings. That was always a really scary thought that somebody would hire me to cook 50 plates because I was at the time I was probably cooking like 50 plates a day. So I didn't know how to cook on a catering level and provide hot, fresh food like that. But I had started doing paintball tournaments. So when I had the idea of hibachi, I already knew where to put it. And I was gonna take it to the paintball tournaments because these guys
Which,
didn't
by the
have.
way, sorry to cut you off, Lewis. Lewis was also really big in the paintball community. He also had another little side gig a while back called Lewis Raw Photos, and
Yeah,
he would go to a lot of paintball tournaments, and take photos of different multiple teams. I remember Lewis as a young hustler because he was even quoting teams to take pictures for them and whatnot. So that's why he's a little bit invested into the paintball community. People are kind of wondering, like, mentions about paintball tournament stuff like that. It's really
mm-hmm.
cool that an outside perspective from the paintball world too, that's not like really related to paintball, is like into paintball, like food catering and stuff like that, and helping support that side of the sport. But sorry to cut you off, Lewis. Continue.
No worries. I mean, paintball is just a big community. So, I mean, when you go to the field, you end up saying hi to like thousands of people, hundreds of people that you know.
Yeah.
But I had already got the idea of selling on a commercial level. Um, so when I did quit my job, the first thing I did was think on my drive home, like, what am I gonna do? And I thought to myself, well, I have a lot of friends. I just need to put the word out that I'm looking for a professional chef because when I was doing these paintball tournaments, I realized people wanted me to cook their food and they wanted me to say hi and they wanted to talk about the future, they wanted to talk about the past, or they
Mm.
wanted, fork or a napkin or extra sauces. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna need more people. I can't do this by myself. And I was literally like up all night making rice and prepping and then going the next day and selling food. And I told myself, it was just a learning experience. I made a couple $1,000s, but it was a learning experience, and I knew what I needed at that point. Even if I got a win, I wanted to know what I could do to be better the next time I showed up. So I
Mm.
put the word out one day when I was driving home after I quit my job. Literally after I walked out of my job, I made a post on Instagram and I said, "Does anybody know any professional Benihana chefs?" And luckily, I had a few homies who were servers at Benihana's, and they obviously knew the whole staff, so they let them all know that I was looking for somebody to cook. And I had made in the post, and I had said, if you come work for me, I'll pay you better than Benihana's, and
Okay.
I'll give you all the tips. Because I knew that they were only making minimum wage there, or like $18 to cook somebody the best meal of their life. I was like, I'll give you 20 something, you know? And I ended up finding a guy who everybody loved. And that guy introduced me to more chefs, and not only just more chefs, but the most, uh, like, the best chefs out of Benihana's. Like, I ended up getting in touch with the best chefs out of Benihana's, and they still work for me for this day.
Oh, dope.
Um, yeah, I've got a total of three chefs from Benihana's. No, three chefs full time, and I have three chefs that I can call that still work at Benihana's today.
Oh, sweet, dude.
Yeah,
So
so
that you expanded really quick then, just coming
yeah,
out of there, and that's actually, and you're right. That's also, a little challenge that obviously that I've had with my party rentals, where, like, I'm the guy, right? I'm the guy that's delivering the chairs and tables most of the time.
right,
And sometimes when I deliver, they want to talk too. The guest wants to talk, but I'm trying to hustle as fast as I can, because time is money,
right,
right? The faster I
right.
deliver, the faster I can get to the next route, to deliver my routes and stuff. So, that's good to put that in perspective, that, like, you were quick on that you needed help, and sometimes people may take on too much for themselves to get that
Mhm,
extra earned money for themselves too. But
mhm.
you had a bigger picture of it. So that's kind of cool. What made you kind of have this entrepreneurship kind of, like, like, what did you always have this at a young age? Did you always, like, or did your father or your mother have, like, this entrepreneurial spirit that you got it from? Like, or who was your role model throughout this time?
Um, my role models were definitely my parents. My dad, he didn't. He worked very hard at his job. Like, he worked a lot of overtime. So I always seen that man working hard, long hours. So that taught me the work ethic. And my mom, she came from Acapulco, Mexico. So she came and then had me. So I'm first generation, I believe I would be.
Yeah.
Um, so I watched her learn English, go to school, to college, get a job. So I learned the hustle from her. As far as the actual like hustling of like products, I probably learned that from playing paintball and probably watching TV. Like, I knew that uh, people were making money in real life, and I wanted part of it. So I knew that if people were able to afford playing paintball, then there must have been a way to make it possible. So I started selling candy in school. I used to sell like energy drinks in high school. During that time too, I would flip paintball equipment. I was literally like 13, 14 years old, buying stuff on Craigslist and just reselling it just so I could go play paintball.
Mm.
And that's how I just got into my groove of just becoming a hustler, just knowing what I wanted to do, having a
Yeah.
goal, and then knowing I had to maybe flip some product to be able to go have some fun.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's a cool way to like, I mean, I kind of remember my days too. I used to recycle a lot of cans just to buy paintballs, just to buy
Yeah.
paintballs, just to go play.
Mhm.
You find a way to hustle, and I think that I never put, just talking about that with you. I think I may have even got that from then too, because obviously my dad was always a hustler. He always taught me, and I was kind of put that perspective that like he taught me that entrepreneurship kind of thing. But I
Mhm.
never put in this perspective when I played paintball how much I also hustled because obviously my parents they didn't make that much money
Right.
and paintball to be honest, it's also a luxury sport. It's not like
Mhm.
everybody can play because it's expensive. Each and especially the way we played, where it's like
Yeah.
speedball and you're going through two, 3 cases of paint a day maybe.
Mhm.
Those cases of paint get pricey because I think back then was what 45 to 50 a
40,
pop of bucks,
50.
something like that, and that's just like decent paint. But it
That's also that's also why I became an electrician, because I realized everybody who was playing paintball was an electrician, and that was like a
uh,
that was a safe job. So I was like, all right, if these guys can make like 100 grand a year working electrical and they get days off, like I want that job. Like that job
Mm.
seems safe.
Wow, it's crazy how the love of the sport kind of like carved your career in a way, and yeah,
Oh
that's really dope. So you're going into your catering events, you're starting to grow a little bit more. Your recipes are on point and whatnot. What's your next step? Did you get like a commercial kitchen right away? Were you already like, doing pop-up tents? People, because they're, like for example, Willie Wings, like I was working with him a few bit and he does pop-up events
yeah.
at apartments and stuff like that. Shout out to
Yeah.
him. But I want to know what was your strategy of like, not just getting catering events, but like pop-up events? Like, how did you approach everything?
Yeah, so I knew that I had to go where the people were. So I knew the people that I wanted to sell food to were probably at bars. So I
Mm,
started with that. I went to Asia Lounge in National City, and I knew that National City was where I grew up, so all my friends could access it. So I literally walked into the bar, and like I still do with every kind of relationship, I just walk in on a personal level and go shake their hand and introduce myself and tell them that I want to sell food there. So I started selling food outside of bars. It was Hannah Beans in National City and Asia Lounge in National City.
mm,
And at first, like what really helped was that they let me do it for free. They didn't ask for anything. So in turn, I would feed their workers, their employees, their staff, and that's just how I kept going. I just kept on asking who and where I can set up. I wanted to be where all the people are. Because if you go do a pop up and there's nobody there, then obviously you're not going to make any money.
yeah.
So I want to be around a lot of people.
And
And
did you ever face rejection from any places or anything like that? And how did you deal with those rejections?
yeah, so I got definitely rejected from a few places. Um, but I just kept it going because, we live in California and everything's expensive. So we don't have time to like take a day off or be just, not worry about it, or I don't know, just leave it alone. So I had to figure it out. There was times where National City even shut me down
Mm,
because they don't allow street vendors. I still do go sell there, but they don't allow street vendors.
okay.
So they came and shut me down one time, and literally, I showed up to pop up at the time where I was supposed to be there that day, and everybody knew it. I posted it, and I walked into the carnita spot I was selling outside of on the street corner, and they told me that National City had come and put on a notice that I can't sell food there.
Mm,
And this is where I'm from. I grew up in National City, and it was just odd that where I'm from shut me down. A young entrepreneur just trying to make it. Like if I could be in a commercial spot, I would be in a commercial spot. If I had a rich mom and dad, I would have been in there. But that wasn't the case. So I've definitely been shut down before. Um, you got to keep going. You can't quit, especially when you have employees who have kids. You know,
Yeah.
if I don't go to work, they're not gonna get fed. That's
Yeah.
like how serious I take it, and I make sure I work every day just so one day, you know, maybe somebody can work for my employees, and then I just check in with my guys who've been there with me since day one. That's the ultimate goal.
Yeah. And so you had so your employees that you said that earlier, they've been there since day one, right?
Um, either either as a friend or as a client. These guys have been there since day one. They've seen the journey. I haven't had like a solid crew that's
Gotcha.
lasted the whole time. Because some people have had to fall out because they couldn't afford to work with the small business and the hours that I was giving.
Hmm.
Because in the beginning, we weren't working 7 days a week. We were only
Yeah.
working a few days a week.
Uh,
And some people had to go get like other jobs, or I had a fallout with a business partner even at one point. That was pretty crazy. And
Hey,
but one of like
but you're still striving, man. You and you look back on those situations and you dodged may have dodged a big bullet, if that partner didn't if went
literally,
through it, you know what I'm saying? And but that's the good thing about you, the grit and the grind that you kind of put through it. And that's dope of you, man. It's kind of cool to see you because obviously we've known each other for a very long time. You're also an alumni from SCPA. I don't think you did you finish SCPA yet there, or did you graduate
no.
somewhere else?
So I was that was me on my way of trying to figure out my path too. I had re-auditioned to get back in there for high school, because you had to audition to get back in there for high
Yeah,
school.
I remember
And
that.
yeah, and I didn't make it. So um I had to go to Sweetwater, National City.
Gotcha. So, and I
Yeah.
know you're hurt. You're a little hurt. Well, it sounded like you were a little hurt about the whole situation that you grew up from National City, and they kind of shut you down. How do you yourself deal with those type of situations? Like you yourself mentally, because there's people that beat themselves down. Like, man, like they don't believe in me. Like I'm from this hood or kind of thing, and they just kind of quit. Is
Hmm.
what I'm getting at. But you didn't quit. What was your mentality like? Like, what keeps you being like, well, fuck, not just say like, well, we live in California, right? Obviously,
Yeah.
but what makes you so strong that you're like, man, like, I'm gonna prove these people wrong.
I think back to the times of when I did prove them wrong,
Mm.
and that always motivates me. Like the times where people said that nobody would buy my food at an event because it was too expensive, and I ended up making more money than I ever did in my life. Or when I got shut down, you know, it didn't discourage me because I had already been going from San Diego to LA to Riverside to Palm Springs to sell my food, and I would win. So if the place where I said or where I grew up didn't want to let me sell food there, then I was gonna find someone else. Because at first for me it was about convincing my friends that the food was good, or not even convincing, just showing them and then seeing their opinion and then them telling me it was great. But then it went to, I wanted to convince everybody, not just my city, not just like the little town I'm in, not just the corner on Highland. I wanted to go city to city and show these people that we make great food. And I've just always looked at the bigger picture. Like if where I'm from doesn't want to let me sell there, I'll go sell in the next city and they'll love me there too. So I just always just try and keep a positive mindset, and just think about, tomorrow's a new day with new possibilities. Like if I would have quit when National City would have shut me down, I wouldn't have gotten this check for 350 guests, that we just knocked out. You know, and
That's sweet.
you just gotta keep going. And if it's worth it, and if your job is worth it, and you've thought it through, then just keep going. It'll fall into place, because there's gonna be people along the way that see your hustle and believe in you, and they'll back you up. And like
Yeah,
I've seen it. I've seen it.
that's very true. So you started doing little bars, not little bars, but you started going selling at bars. What
Hmm.
was like the first event that you started kind of selling at? Was it at a paintball tournament? Was that at a festival? What was that like, and how was stepping into that scene of selling to multiple, and a bigger magnitude of food?
So not to be like repetitive, but yeah, I was probably at a paintball tournament when I had my first big event, and plates weren't going out on time, and I remember just everybody just staring at me from my front booth, just waiting for the food to come out, and me knowing that it's gonna take a long ass time for it to actually be sent out, and that scared the shit out of me. But I realized that you can only get better. Like
Mm.
if you practice, you're just gonna get better and you'll finally figure it out. But I'd say outside of paintball, it was probably the 626 night market. It's a little foodie market that they had in downtown and in LA.
Mm.
And that was my first experience selling to like thousands of people that I didn't even know. And it went great. Like,
How is that like? So I've been to events, right, to do caterings and
mhm,
stuff like that. When I've worked at Puesto, when I've worked at different restaurants, just to like promote our food.
mhm.
But the setup is very kind of chaotic, right?
Oh
Can
yeah.
you kind of tell us, for the viewers who or listeners that don't know how a setup goes, what's your mind going? Set up the tables, set up the plancha. Where's the gloves? Did I pack in the? He kind of described to us like your little timeline event going up to the event.
Yeah, so my best friend these past couple of years has been my notepad. I literally write things down and cross it out. I try and do that as much as I can for everything I do. Um, Obviously, like I have my list, but I also have my list for my team. So they know what goes in the totes, they know what goes in the coolers. But the first things that are on my mind about setting up a pop up is the protection from the ground, from the oil spilling on the ground. That's
Mm,
a huge thing. I've heard of a lot of companies losing a lot of money, damaging the floors, and a lot of big events. That's one of their main concerns, and that's literally the last thing they check before they give you the okay to go home. Is they check if you've made a mess.
mm,
So the last thing I want to do is make a mess. So whether it's a tarp or even if it's cardboard at that second, I would protect. My first thing is protect the floors. My second thing would probably be to get out the grill and maybe turn the grill on and then set up the tent. And then while I have the grill warming up, then I'm setting up the tables and the coolers and everything else around it. Oh, and then one big thing is, did I bring tablecloths today? Because everybody likes to see somebody who goes the extra mile to make sure everything looks professional,
clean. Yeah.
and clean. Yeah, they
Yeah.
appreciate that. So
Okay.
my thing is like, do we look professional and are we clean? Like that's like the biggest things on my mind.
Sweet, sweet.
And do the chefs have everything they need? Because for me, like since I don't cook anymore and these guys are way better cooks than me, I let them do their job. So pretty much me, I have to make sure that Kobe has water, that Kobe has his shoes. You know what I mean? Like I need my top guys to have everything they need to execute the job. Because if I can do that, then I can go set up another pop up at another event or set up another catering. Like as long
Have
as my
multiple
guys have
times.
everything, yeah, as long as my guys have everything they need, then they can execute and they can make money. We make money. Everybody eats good food, and we all go home happy.
Yeah, no, that's true. Uh, so going into that now, you do your pop-up events when and you're
Mm.
letting them cook. What are you exactly doing? I know you said you're going to other events and setting up, but behind the scenes, are you also networking with people? Are you also in the behind the scenes of doing your own books? Like, are you interacting? Are you like the basically setting up your own appointments now that you have a team cooking for you?
Yeah, so now that I have teams cooking and prepping for me, I'm taking care of all of the administration work. So that's helping with the bookkeeping, talking to the people who manage the social media, my
Oh,
websites.
you got PR people now too.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, sweet. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
yeah. I mean, I just don't have time, like I'm trying to do everything. I'm trying to be a stepdad now, I'm trying to be a husband, trying to run a business. So I wake up early and then I finish my day real late. But I'm always making sure for a few things that we have everything to be clean and
Yeah, I got
that
my son right here. He's trying to talk to me, but hey, you want to say hi? Come
what's
over
up, dude?
here. Come over here. Just say hi. He's like blurred
What's
out.
up, baby?
Yeah, you're right there. All right, go with mama. Go with mama. Okay. Yeah, I know. Sorry for the interruption, dude.
Now you good.
But
So
uh
behind the scenes, I'm just making sure the taxes are all being paid and just payroll. That's another big thing that's part of my life is just making sure that these guys get paid on time. And
I'm sure you're working
yeah,
all
just
day, right? All day.
yeah, 7 days a week.
Yeah, because I mean, even when I don't think people recognize like when you're a business owner, you're working every single minute, every single second. If not, you're not getting bigger or expanding as much
Right.
as you want. So, um, how do you kind of maintain that? Like, do you keep yourself physical? Like, do you physically maintain? Like, do you go work out? Because obviously you don't want to burn out, right? There's people who
Right.
kind of burn out and stuff like that. How do you keep
Mhm.
yourself from burning out from working 7 days a week?
I just gotta keep myself in check. So I know I gotta eat to regulate my mood, to regulate my energy and my drive. So I try and pay attention to my body a lot. I used to exercise a lot when I had time, but I should be exercising more. I definitely medicate to keep the stress down because with everything going on, there's a lot I could easily just over stress myself. I try and manage myself healthy. I work a lot, but I try and make sure that I eat all the time. I drink water. I don't do drugs. I don't drink. I haven't drank in maybe like 2 months now.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I just feel like stuff like that just messes you up for the next day. So
Yeah.
I just don't do it. Like I've let myself get drunk and I've been hungover the next day and we didn't pop up and that kind of stuff has always bothered me. Um,
And you also expect that from your team too, right? Yeah, like the same
yeah,
standards you keep for yourself, you keep it for them too.
yeah. Even because too, I know a lot of them on a personal level. So um, I just expect the best from everybody. I understand that in the restaurant industry, there's like a lot of drug use, but for me, I just don't allow it to be around myself. So I really just try and screen people before I hire them on and make sure that they're not some cokehead
Yeah.
alcoholic.
What's
Like,
weird, it's weird. Like the restaurant industry gets like a bad rep for that, but I feel like it's not too bad. Maybe back in the day it was like that, but I think
mhm,
the restaurant industry, at least in my perspective, is not too much of party hard, rock hard kind of days. I feel like a lot of cooks and chefs now taking a lot more serious. Obviously there's gonna be places that definitely do the hard shit. But yeah, man, it's great that you're leveling up and stuff like that, recently, and you're doing this 3 day part right now. When you got this, contract to do this catering, because you were telling me the other day you were so stoked about this. What were those
mhm.
emotions? Because you also told me like you thought about the last 5 years that you were doing this. Like, damn, like I can't believe like I didn't quit. Like there was times you said that you thought of quitting, but now looking back at it, you're glad that you didn't quit. How was those emotions when you got that like check?
Oh man, I got the first half. A few days ago. I got the first half last week, and that was the most I had, seen in my name on a check. And the emotions were, it was fulfilling. I knew that I could keep going and that this was a real thing and that there was a future in this. And it just made me more excited about what else is to come in my life.
Yeah,
Because I've been working fucking hard for this moment.
yeah,
And
and
when I sent the invoice and they told me before I even sent it the numbers I was already thinking, and they told me that they could do that. Um, man, I was so happy. I was so happy,
no,
so happy.
I'm proud of you, man. And I can see the, the excitement on you, the emotion that you had about that, and not saying it took 5 years to say it, like, you don't want to make it sound like a negative part, but like you thinking about it, like, man, it took me 5 years to work this hard to like really now I'm getting rewarded like big time what I really want, out of my value. So it's cool to see that from you, dude. It's awesome that, yeah, that you're kicking ass. This is your third day today, right? You said?
Yeah, third day. This is
And
our
what's
third day.
can you kind of explain the event? Like what are you doing for the event right now? Or what it's
Yeah,
for?
so I it's for a pharmaceutical convention going on in the convention center in downtown,
Okay.
and they hired the venue where I'm at. It's called Garage Collective, and they, told them they wanted food, and the Garage Collective had already started bringing me on, um, doing like pop ups at night, and they referred me to, the pharmaceutical company or the organizer, and yeah, so they told me they at first it was 500 plates, and that I was really excited for that. That was a lot more money than what I made now, but we are doing 350. They got down to 350, and the first day I did 250, or no, the first day I did 150 on Monday, and then I did 100 yesterday, and then today I'm doing another 100. Um, but it's honestly one of the easiest caterings I've also ever had.
Why you say that? Why you say it's one of the easiest?
Because I make the plates, right? But it doesn't take long to make the plates because we make everything fresh.
Mm.
So 100 plates in 8 hours is 12 plates an hour, but my chef can bang out 12 plates in like 10 minutes.
Oh,
So
sweet.
yeah, so we've just been kind of taking it slow. We'll do like a lunch service, take a break, and then make sure that we get the dinner service as per part of the contract. And it's been easy. And these guys take care of everything for me. We started doing drinks, so we poured drinks, and yeah, it's been going smooth, really smooth.
Like alcoholic drinks or like cocktails or
No,
what?
no, agua frescas.
Oh, okay, okay. I thought you mean like
Yeah,
you guys are making drinks. Like I was like, oh, like you got a liquor license out too.
that's my next goal. That's my next goal is a beer or a liquor license for a commercial spot.
So we did mention that the other day too. Now you're ready for a brick and mortar.
Hmm.
What do you think is that timeline like for you right now? Like, or what's the goal for you?
Before the end of the year, I will have signed a lease with somebody somewhere. Like we're looking for um access to money. We're working with another. You, you know him, Agustin. You remember Agustin?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I'm working with him. He's my
Wait, are you talking about the son or are you talking about the dad?
the junior.
The junior. Okay, yeah.
He's an accountant too now. They're both accountants.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Good for
Yeah.
him,
So
dude. Well,
so
shout out
now
to shout
so
out to him. I mean, I haven't talked to him in such a long time. You see him, man. Tell him I said what's up, man.
see paintball.
What's up?
Yeah, I said the paintball community, right?
Yeah, I know, right? It's like it's weird. It's a big world, but a small world at the same time.
Hmm. So I actually brought him on as my CFO, my chief financial officer. And so he's in charge of helping me find money and helping me save money and make more money ultimately.
Oh shit.
So, so right now we're looking for loans and grants to get us into a commercial spot.
Oh damn, man, that
Yeah,
friendship has really grew. I mean, I remember you two were like, I mean, back in the day, you guys were inseparable in paintball teams. You know what I mean? And
yeah, we were winning paintball tournaments.
and now you guys are a team in business. That's cool, dude.
Crazy how it
Yeah,
comes full circle.
right. Yeah, and that's fucking exciting, dude, for sure. And right now that you're, what is, you're looking for a place. What are you looking for? Like, are you looking for, a mall? Are you looking for a place where it's like high traffic on the street? What, or is it or a certain area you're looking for? Like, what is your process of now going into that, spectrum of your life going to be
So
like?
I have a commercial kitchen now, but it's in one of the worst neighborhoods of all time, and I can't sell food out of my kitchen. So I realized that I want to be in a good spot. So I'm trying to get into maybe like Mission Valley, Mission Beach area. But one thing for sure is I need traffic, car traffic, foot traffic. I need parking. I need an exhaust hood for my vent, above my grill in my kitchen, and I need a grease trap. If I can get those four things, then along with the location, a prime location, then I'll be there. Um, I don't. I had an opportunity to do a really big project in Imperial Beach. They actually just texted me while I'm in this interview.
Oh,
Um, but that was like $42,000 a month in just rent.
mm,
And I mean, I'm looking for something maybe like 5 to 10,000. I had a really big opportunity to do something big, and I just didn't want to do Imperial Beach because I think it smells down there sometimes, and I wouldn't. I don't really want to be next to the beach when it's smelling. I want to be just in a
yeah.
prime location where I don't have to worry about
Well, I will
much.
say, it's tricky to. I feel like it is a tricky area to be around a beach. I worked at PB Local as a chef there, and
Mm-hmm.
obviously during the rainy days, there's most of the time we're closed, or there's nothing, no one's coming in
Mm-hmm.
by the beach, nearby the beach.
Right,
Summertime, awesome. Summertime is awesome. You get a
right,
lot of people, we got a lot of foot traffic. But
right.
it is definitely an area where, like, if you're close by the coastal, it's more of a seasonal area. So, if anybody's like thought of opening up over there by the beach, like, kind of second think it, because you're
Yeah,
gonna get, it's gonna get, it's a seasonal place,
right,
and
exactly.
so you definitely want, more of a, I feel like a more of a central place.
Exactly.
North, like for example, here in San Diego, North Park is, vibing with a lot of restaurants because there's a lot of foot traffic, people who go walk there, walk around, stuff like that. So, but that's
Mhm.
cool, man, that you're going into that next step of, of your entrepreneurship, going into being basically having your own restaurant,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's cool. I can't wait to see the place and be able to go eat there and whatnot. I can already imagine it.
Yeah, bro, because that's what I've been needing is I've been doing all these pop-ups, all these caterings, and one thing that people are always asking is where is the brick and mortar? Like where's the actual restaurant? And I tell them like we don't have it yet. It's
Mhm.
coming. We don't have it yet. Not that we don't have it right now, we just don't have it yet. It's coming. And once I can funnel everyone back into one place and maybe even sell beer and alcohol and sake and Sapporo, then I think it'll be just a cracking spot, and people can bring their families. And I have some ideas. I have some ideas for the restaurant. I don't even want to say it just because I don't want anybody taking it.
Is it gonna be like a Benihana style kind of restaurant? Like people are just, you got the chef's cooking kind of thing in the middle and everybody's sitting around. That's your
So,
vision, I'm saying.
something like that.
All right, you don't want to give too much.
Uh-huh.
That's good,
Yeah,
man.
something like yes, yes, but something with a twist.
Okay, okay, I see that. Well, that's good, man. What's you, you know, I kind of want to. I know you don't have too much time. We're coming up with the hour, so what's something that you can share to the listeners who is like maybe wants to start their own pop up thing, or maybe wants to start their own catering. Like, what's one advice or tips that you can give for someone to continue, because it's going to take a long time, especially in the food industry. I think
Mhm.
a lot of times, a lot more times than positive times, restaurants fail, and food industry is really hard to kind of get your foot in there and kind of stay there for the longevity. What's like a
Mhm.
tip or advice that you give to people, you know, for your longevity of it so far?
Yeah, so probably like three different things. I would say you need to do something that's different. Everybody likes to sell the same kind of food. I'm not gonna say what kind, but everyone likes to sell the same kind of food at a pop-up, which is great. But you need to be different. You need to sell plates at a higher ticket so you can actually make a profit and take something home. Because if you're selling $5 plates, you're not gonna make much. You're not gonna be able to pay employees and all your bills. So you gotta think long term. It's got to be realistic. And then you got to think about something that I mean people need. You know, um, I would say don't worry about spending too much money in the beginning. Just worry about getting the product down first, and then everything after that will literally fall into place. Um, so I would say be different. I wouldn't do the same thing that everyone else does, and make sure you're charging accordingly. I wouldn't devalue your stuff. I had a call yesterday for catering Inquisition, and somebody asked me if I could do it for $16 to $17 a plate, which sounds like a great bid, but for what we do, it's undervaluing our work.
Mm.
So I sent them an invoice, but it didn't hit the numbers that they wanted, but it hit the numbers that I needed. So that's what's most important to me now is making a profit. You can't be out here just doing stuff free. You can't be just playing kitchen and stuff.
Yeah, no, yeah, yeah, that's true. Because that's something my mom has kind of told me before. I think that's a saying in Mexico. Estás jugando a la cocinita.
Mhm.
And you're not really making money. You're just like you said, playing with the food basically,
Yeah,
and
giving out free steaks.
giving up free steaks. Giving up your time. Um,
hmm
but yeah, dude. What's one aha moment that you've had so far in your catering that you're like, man, that just clicked on me. Like, that's crazy. Why didn't I just think of that doing that?
Um, Probably aha moment. Probably being open in two different cities at the same time. I was open in Paris and I was open in San Diego at the same time,
Oh,
and
really? How'd you do
yeah,
that? How'd you manage that?
I hired a lot of people. So I hired everybody I could, even my friends that didn't even work for me at the time. And I made sure I had the chefs, and like I said, I made sure the chefs had everything they needed, and we knocked it out.
What?
And I did 2 3 day events. I did the 626 market, and then I also did. It looks like there's a little fire in front of me. That's crazy.
Oh
It's the
shit.
next property over. Um, but I did Paris. I was in Paris, California at a paintball tournament, and then I did the 626 night market at the same time, and both spots made over 10 grand that weekend.
I was gonna ask why were you in Paris, but okay, now I see you're doing a,
Mhm.
a paintball event over there. And how do people kind of ask like, I mean, I would say farmers market, right? What's the
Mhm.
process of kind of getting into there? Because like I'm assuming Little Italy is very popular, right, here in San Diego,
Right.
but I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure it's very hard to get into that one. What's an easy way for someone who wants to sell at a farmer's market to kind of get into that? Like
So at that,
like the
yeah,
market you said 9 to 6, you said what was that?
626,
Oh,
six
six
two
to
six.
six. Okay.
Uh-huh. So most of these places that you would like to go or anybody would like to go sell at has a website, and usually there's a place on their contact form for vendors, and you can easily hit that up. Or you can go down to the San Diego Health Department or county office in Kearney Mesa. I think it's like 8555 Overland Drive. I think. If you look up Overland Drive in San Diego Health
Is that where you pay all the
County,
permits, right? That's where you pay all the
yeah,
permits for all the. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's
I
where
know what
you
you're
get
talking about.
that's where you get all your permits. Once you get your permits, you can also ask them for a list, and that list is all the contact info for all the farmers markets in San Diego.
Oh, really? I
So
did not know that.
yeah, it's
That's
literally
cool.
a list. I mean, you don't even need to be official, like licensed or anything. You can go there, ask for the list, and they'll give you a printout, a packet of all of the farmers markets and all of the contact info. And
Mm,
I try and go there. I try and call them, contact them, see where they're going to be. And I go and I try and meet the organizer, shake their hand, tell them what we do. Sometimes bring them a plate if I can, just to show them what we do. And yeah, it's just as easy as calling somebody. You know, you got to call, you got to reach out, you got to do your due diligence
I've been to
and
that
cross.
office. I've been to that office, and I'm like, a lot of the office is a little intimidating. I see a lot of
Oh,
blueprints everywhere. People who are like, and so the office is a little crazy when I go in there because I remember I did that. I went there to do the whole when I was doing the meal prep business,
yeah.
getting all those permits and stuff like that, and going in there and I saw like blueprints from like big companies and big restaurants, just kind of sitting around and stuff like that. Not saying they weren't organized, but you could tell a lot of
There's a lot
businesses.
going on.
There's a lot going on. A lot of businesses in San Diego that are about to open up and stuff like that, which is kind of
Yeah,
cool. You know.
because it's the planning department. So like everybody goes there with their plans and like
hmm
goes there to get approved by the city.
Yeah, I
So there's
remember I
a
had to show them a menu of mine,
mm-hmm.
just so they can kind of approve it and stuff like that. So it's it takes a process, and not a lot of people know. People kind of think like, oh, it's just for example, the catering. It's just cooking and food and get money.
And
No,
a
there's a
logo.
yeah. No.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it. You got to get your serve safe. You got to get, the permits down. And some of that stuff takes time to get it down, 3 months, 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
It can take time to get licensings and, I remember my buddy says in PB, is you can't even get a liquor license anymore. You kind of have to inherit it from another business and stuff like
Yeah,
that. So
that's been my move. Is I'm looking at either. I mean, applying for a liquor or a beer license takes forever, or you can go on this website called LoopNet, and people are either selling their brick and mortar or selling the actual business
mm,
with the rights for the liquor license or the beer license. So there's
yeah.
also that option. You can also buy a business that has all the licenses to
Yeah,
skip
yeah,
that.
to skip all that hassle because, like I said, if you might start a business in a place and they might not even allow you to have a liquor license because it's already maxed out in that area,
Mhm.
because there's too many people. It's like I said, BB's a perfect example. It's a college party town, right? They already have too many licenses right
Because
there. So
sometimes it is worth it to skip the line. You know, if you have a solid concept and a location and you just need the license and you're going to be banging out money selling sake and Sapporo,
yeah,
sometimes it's worth it just to buy the business.
sure.
So right now we're working on weighing things out and seeing which direction we're going to go.
All right, Lewis. I don't want to take too much of your time. I know you still got another full day today for your third day of that big event that you have today. What's one last message that you want to share out to the listeners? How can people reach out to you for your catering events or reach out to you to get a quote? Yeah, tell us all your socials.
Yeah, I would say my socials is Papis Teppanyaki on the Instagram. Same with TikTok. Papis Teppanyaki is Papis Teppanyaki. Papis Teppanyaki. Um, it's got all of my phone numbers over there, my email. You can DM me any kind of Poppy's platform. If you message it, I'm probably gonna be the one who answers.
Oh, sweet.
Um,
Directly to the
yeah,
owner.
yeah, directly to me.
You don't got a team
But
for that yet.
not yet, not yet. I told my wife that's her next move, answering all these texts and emails. But I would say don't quit because you never know what tomorrow's gonna bring.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, luckily for us, on our in our little venture in the party rental business, we started back
Mm.
in November, and we've grown quite a bit. So it's like, trust me, we've had our struggles, but it's kind of now
Oh
like,
yeah.
what's the next move? What's the most efficient move to do next? So
And
now,
I've thought about your business because the chairs and the tables I've bought before too, because I do caterings.
yeah,
That's why I've called you for help with that. But I know that's an initial investment, and you probably won't see your return on investment for a couple rounds.
hmm,
And so you got to stick it out and see the bigger picture that eventually you're gonna get paid for
yeah.
the tables and chairs that have already been paid for.
Exactly. And
So
it's not even just that, that also the reinvesting, to get into
yeah.
other inventory and stuff like that. Like now
Mhm.
we're renting out games, each now we like the past 2, 3 weeks now, our games have been, rented out. Uh Throne chair, we're about to rent out our throne chair this weekend. So, like you said, the investments and getting the return on the investment definitely takes time, but investing into the business and growing it more helps out the fact that we're given a variety of stuff,
Yeah.
not just one thing. It's cool. It's really cool seeing, and beautiful to see this your own kind of business grow. And this idea was my
Yeah.
wife's idea, right? Like, so it's
Mhm.
cool to see her and be like proud of what she's kind of accomplished and created for us.
Mhm.
Obviously, I'm the labor guy. She's if you're messaging us, you're messaging her like for appointments and stuff like that. But
Right.
I'm just the labor guy right now. I'm my own team at the moment, delivering the
Uh,
tables and chairs. But hopefully, in the future, I can have, like, just like you, my own team, sending the tables and chairs, sending inflatables, or sending a throne chair, stuff like that. That's my
mhm.
goal, for the future too. So, thank you, Lewis. I appreciate it, everything, all this talk. Wish we had a little bit longer, but I don't want to take too much of your time. I know you're a busy guy working 7 days a week and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And this won't be the last time, bro. This won't be the last time I have you on the podcast. But yeah, any special things? Anything you want to, last things you want to say?
Yeah. Shout out to the team. Shout out to the guys making rice right now.
Hell
Shout
yeah.
out to all the people that have helped me with the little things along the way to help me get to this point. Um, and if there's anybody who needs help or any questions with pop-ups, feel free to reach out, and I'll reach back as soon as I can.
All right. All right, guys. As you guys can hear it, hit up Lewis for the Papis Teppanyaki Catering. Looks like amazing food that you're creating, dude. And it's healthy too. So
Yeah,
it's definitely,
all
you know,
foods.
right? Veggies,
Mm.
rice, the protein, that's all you need, man. Hit him up. He's serving delicious food. Can't wait for your brick and mortar to come through in the future, dude. I'll be waiting around, waiting in line for
Yeah,
that day, grand opening. So that'll be dope to see. All right, guys. We'll catch you guys on the next episode. See you later.
later,
All
bro.
right.